The COD Zombies community is an extremely passionate bunch. I have a ton of respect for that. That's also the reason why years ago when I did a listing or a ranking of my picks for the 10 best zombies in franchise history, I got roasted across YouTube and Twitter and the internet for multiple weeks. But you know what? We're going to try it again. And if you're an avid zombies player, I have one ask. I ask that you at least go easy on me and my takes. They may or may not line up with yours because I will admit, I'm not a hardcore zombies guy. I definitely love the COD Zombies experience, but I'm a lot more casual about it than most of you. But I'm going to do my best to balance out my personal casual opinions and the opinions of more hardcore fans out there. So you let me know your list of the 10 best zombie maps in COD history down in the comments. Drop a like. I know the meme is going to get put everywhere as well down there, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. I can have fun. It was fun. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, you got some problems. So here we go. At number 10, drop a like. Welcome to the channel, Chaos here. And at number 10, 9. I remember when this map was released, a lot of people were worried that it wasn't going to play very well due to the fact that it was set in ancient times, and therefore, it would be melee only. But then when Black Ops 4 launched, we quickly discovered it was not melee only. It was actually a really cool map. 9 is that map that was set in Roman Gladiator time in the gladiatorial arena. Has a ton of unique mechanics based around that, the crowd mechanic where you fight off the undead, the crowd will react to how well you're doing, which was really, really cool. And there's bonuses you'll get by keeping the crowd on your side. There's also a set of trials you have to complete in order to earn bonuses, power-ups, perks. It was the perfect blending of the movie Gladiator with the gameplay of COD Zombies. 9 is a fun and unique map that, honestly, I had to give it a spot. I don't actually remember where I ranked this map when I did my Giant Zombies map ranking a few years ago, but I have a feeling I wasn't nearly as kind to it as I should have been. Because going back and playing 9, it really is a fun map. Who's ready for Gladiator 2? At number 9, Call of the Dead. This map was designed with characters first in mind, and the gameplay second. I'll say that out of the gate. So in case you forgot, Call of the Dead is the map that features Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker, Robert Englund, and Sarah Michelle Gellar as the playable characters. It also features George A. Romero, and he's one of the zombies. On top of all that, it was also one of the first Call of Duty Zombies maps to feature a musical Easter egg from the band Avenged Sevenfold, who would become a heavy contributor to Call of Duty as a whole in the years following Black Ops 1's launch. So, right out of the gate, Call of the Dead gets a ton of nostalgia points from me. It does, for the number of fan-favorite real-world faces that it featured. So now let's talk about the gameplay. Well, that's where it gets a little bit iffy. A lot of people absolutely love Call of the Dead. I'm one of those people, but a lot of Zombies players believe this is actually one of the more disappointing maps in Treyarch's lineup when it comes to the actual map design and the enemy variety. I can see where those people are coming from. I can see both sides of the fence here. There's definitely some issues with the map layout. It's pretty clear that Treyarch was relying on the spectacle of the landscapes and the playable celebrities to make up for the gameplay shortcomings. But at the end of the day, it's still an extremely fun map. I think it's clear. It basically... No, maybe it doesn't clear everything in World at War. Who cares if the map itself isn't good? Or as good as it could have been. You get to play as Danny Trejo, Rooker, England. You get to kill zombies together. That's pretty cool to me. I can't believe we're sitting here doing this. Cannot believe we're sitting here ranking zombie maps. I really can't. At number 8 today, what was the meme? I don't even remember. I said something was the best map of all time. I don't even remember whose channel. Was it Lexify or Mr. Lex something? I don't remember. At number 8, Zombies in Spaceland. Now, there's a lot of hesitation from the Zombies community when it was announced that Infinity Ward was going to be doing their own take on the formula, myself included. There was even more hesitation when it was announced that Infinity Ward Zombies mode would completely be disconnected from the existing storyline. Featured a much goofier tone, much more colorful, whimsical tone than what Treyarch had been building for the previous 8 years. But, you know what? I'm going to say it. Zombies in Spaceland is freaking awesome. Takes place in the 80s arcade. Features countless Easter eggs. I'm an Easter egg guy. References to various 80s movies. I was all about that. There's so many little mini games and activities around the arcade, and the design of the zombies was really, really good. I think the gameplay loop of Zombies in Spaceland is extremely addicting. I think Infinity Ward did a great job of taking Treyarch's formula, but they made it their own, which is not easy to do without losing the core of what made it fun in the first place. Yes, it's goofy. Yes, it's completely disconnected from the larger zombie storyline. But if you just want a fun co-op zombie shooting experience that scratches that same itch as old school Treyarch zombies, and it's chocked full of 80s nostalgia, I think this map was perfect. Infinite Warfare gets a lot of hate, but I'll always defend what the Zombies team did. At number 7. Now we get into the mix of it. Croy. This Black Ops 3 DLC map featured the return of Origin's crew and heavily featured a giant dragon in the marketing. When Zombies maps show off a giant set piece like that in the trailers, it's usually a coin toss. It is, on whether or not it'll actually be that cool in the game. But I think I can say confidently that Croy lived up to the hype that Treyarch built for it before launch. I mean, come on. Giant robots, giant dragons, the alternate 1940s aesthetic, and some pretty insane challenges that even the most seasoned COD Zombies veterans struggled with when they were trying to do it. The map is a high point for Black Ops 3 Zombies, if you ask me, and it has some of the most memorable set pieces of anything Treyarch has ever made. My criticism of the map is the fact that the Easter eggs were probably a little weak. This was that era of COD Zombies where Easter eggs started getting very complicated and time-consuming, which I was never really the biggest fan of. But at the same time, I do understand if you disagree with me on that, and ultimately, the Easter eggs aren't more important than the actual gameplay and the presentation of the map itself. And I think Croy was a fantastic thing in both of those departments. So here it is at number 7. This is just going to be a wild ride from 6 to 1, and I know you're probably not going to agree with all of them, and that's okay, but just had to look myself in the mirror, and I had to go for it, as the casual Zombies fan now. At number 6, Ascension. Now, this is a map that has become somewhat controversial over the years because it was very experimental at the time. I recognize that my nostalgia is going to be playing a part in this where I place it. Ascension was one of the first DLC maps released for the original Black Ops, and it was also one of the first maps that really started to build upon the original structure from World at War. World at War Zombies was super simple. Treyarch really started experimenting in Black Ops, and Ascension introduced us to a ton of fan-favorite things, as well as some other things that did not really age particularly well, like the perk-stealing monkeys that really should have been deleted from the game during testing, but we're not going to talk about that. This was also the first Zombies map to ever have a hidden Easter egg, which was obviously a game-changer for the mode going forward. I honestly think I put in more hours on this map with friends than any other Zombies map, now that I think back. On top of all the innovation, Ascension is just really, it's a well-designed map for casual, old-school Zombies gameplay. The setting is awesome. The weapons were top-notch. There's a great map. I mean, with the map is a lot of interactivity. It's one of those maps I could play over and over again without really getting bored, which I did, although I would get frustrated at the perk-stealing monkeys. It's a piece of Zombies history for sure. While I may get some heat for putting it this high, I don't know, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I'm completely out of touch with the Zombies community. I think most of us can agree that it was fun, right? We can agree it belongs in the top 10. You may not have it at number 6 on your list, but since this is my list, it's going to get the number 6 spot. I'm just going to move on. Now we arrive at the top 5. I'm going to go with Moon. It was released back in 2011. I mean, from the original Black Ops. Moon quickly became a fan favorite. It had that unique setting, awesome Easter eggs, as well as the addicting gameplay loop and mechanics that you really couldn't get anywhere other than outer space. Zombies in outer space. I still remember the trailers for this thing. This was the first time Call of Duty went to space, and for a lot of people, it's still the best example of it. Moon stars the Ultimus characters. And it's the 3rd biggest Zombies map ever made. You start out in Area 51 in Nevada, you get zapped up to the surface of the moon. The map has also featured the introduction of Mule Kick as a perk, give you another reason to use the classic Black Ops 1 ray gun, which is always a positive in my book. I liked Moon. Still one of my favorite Zombies maps ever. It's honestly kind of reassuring to see that the Zombies community at large still thinks, I think they think pretty highly of it. So I can tell myself it's not just the nostalgia talking. I'll let you debate down in the comments whether the original Black Ops version or the remake in Black Ops 3 is better. But I think Moon deserves to be in the top 5. Don't hate me. At number 4, I'm worried about this one. Buried. Chronologically, this is the final part of the original Zombies timeline. It was released as DLC for Black Ops 2 back in 2013. You played as the Victus crew, have your first encounter with the Ray Gun Mark II, pretty standout moment for old school Zombies fan. Buried had some pretty unique mechanics in the form of the bank and the weapon locker systems, both which played extremely differently from other maps in Black Ops 2, but I think it was in a good way. You ventured around the underground Wild West town. I like the Wild West. I like Wild West movies. Maybe I'm biased towards this map since I love all that. I love the Western movies, but Buried was something special. Treyarch nailed the atmosphere here. It's also one of the few maps to feature the time bomb, which lets you actually take all your goodies back to the previous round in the game. So you could really honestly dominate the lower level hordes in this map. You could, while you beefed up your arsenal and put more cash in the bank to make you better equipped for the late game fights. I like this map. It's different enough to stand out, even without the unique atmosphere and the world design, but at its core, I think it was a great old school casual zombies experience. I think it's worthy of a top 5 spot. And once again, I really stress casual zombies experience. I really hope that's hitting home with you guys. And maybe this will turn out good. Maybe this will be better than I think. But I'm really worried how it's gonna go, especially now that we get into the top 3. Here we go. At number 3, Der Eisendrache. It's a weird case, because when this map first came out, it seemed like a lot of people were down on it. But as time went on, it turned into one of the most beloved maps in COD Zombies history, I think. Honestly, I think I'd put it in top 3 of all time, probably. I don't know. It's a breathtaking looking map. It's clear that Treyarch went all out with the virtual design here and the visual design. Everything about the map was visually distinct. It created an amazing sense of... the scope of it was crazy, which is appropriate since it's set in a giant Austrian castle in 1945. And yeah, the Iron Dragon, German for the Iron Dragon, which is one of the coolest map names ever made. Several new weapons, new mechanics that were brought into the mix. You had the Ragnarok DG4, you had the Wrath of the Ancients. The map is loaded with Easter eggs, of course, which is always a good touch. I may have actually been one of the few people who was down on the map when it first came out, but I've come full circle. I agree with the community's general opinion that this is a top tier map. The gameplay, it's good. The Easter eggs are great. The story was solid. The visuals, they were incredible. Even all these years later, if you go back and look, it's still incredible. Remember, the map was made around 2016, still looks this good. Treyarch never pulls their punches with their visual design of their maps, and you have to respect that. At number 2, there's only 2 left. I'm not gonna get memed on this one. Origins. I mean, it's classic. Absolute classic in the COD Zombies community. It was a fantastic way to wrap up the Black Ops 2 season of the story. Origins stars the crew, and an absolutely gigantic map, which makes it a pretty strong counter-argument against all the people who say bigger Zombies maps aren't as good as the smaller ones. Origins is also known for the 3 giant robots that stomp around the map. They give it that distinct feel, that insane sense of scope as you run around slaying zombies and keeping your eye out where the giant freaking mechs are. The enemies? They were fun. The vibes were immaculate with this map. The weapons were good. The crew was iconic. It's got to be one of the best maps in Zombies history. And a lot of people would have put it at their number 1, I think. But I still have one other map that I personally, now remember, this is me personally, Jimmy personally, not everybody else, thinks belongs at number 1. At number 1 today on the infamous top 10 best Zombies maps of all time, I'm going to go with Mob of the Dead. Released as part of the second DLC pack for the original Black Ops. Mob of the Dead takes place on Alcatraz Island, which is cool in its own right. Remains one of the most iconic maps in the history of COD Zombies as a whole. Not only does it have an awesome setting, but it also eventually moves to the Golden Gate Bridge, and it features some really cool vibes of Prohibition-era America while you blast through hundreds of zombies and you try to escape in one piece. You played as a group of gangsters locked up in Alcatraz. Come on, planning on busting your way out, but then you spring your action into, or your plan into action, and a zombie outbreak occurs, and you have to make your way out of the prison while also not getting turned into a zombie, which was a genius concept for COD Zombies. The music, great. Hidden songs, you had Johnny Cash, you had Kevin Sherwood. Mob of the Dead will always hold a special place in a lot of people's heart. Slightly more so than Origins, if you ask me. I know it's a coin toss between those two, but, I mean, you guys let me know. I mean, the community generally, from what I see, thinks it's better. But here we go. I have some extra nostalgia points for the original Black Ops. It's my favorite game of all time, so that is my ranking. And I'm sure you guys are going to let me know exactly what you think of it down in the comments. Maybe in a few years, we'll hit it again. I'm ready. To all the people that asked me to do this just to play into the fun, I'm there for it. And I did have some people say, did I get upset when I got memed into Infinity? Absolutely not. Like I said, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, or what are we doing? It was a fun time. Yeah. I'll see you guys soon.